And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. Welcome back to another podcast, everybody. This is the first of my weekly coaching call podcast, and we are jumping right in, guys. So the idea of these podcasts are essentially so that way we can meet up once per week without actually having to meet up once per week, both a little bit more convenient for you guys and for me, obviously, coaching with you. So the idea being here, guys, I want to save you guys time. I know how valuable your time is. I know how valuable I feel like my time is. You know, there's just not enough that we've got 101 things that we have to give to. So I want you guys to be able to get all the benefits of a coaching call, but without actually having to be tied into a specific time, place, or whatever, that kind of thing. So basically what we want to do is we want to meet up once per week, or you can plug on your earphones once per week. Hopefully you can do this with a notebook as well, because we will have some tools for you guys to work with as well. And that's going to basically act as, you know, a little driving force. It's not maybe going to change your life because of this one thing, but it's going to be one of the many tools that you have at your disposal to get you through the week or get you through whatever challenges are going on in your life. All right. So this week we want to get our focus right. We want to focus on yourself. So getting things focused on the things that matter. That's super important. We don't want to focus on things that don't matter. Your time, again, is too much, too valued for that. So comparison, the double-edged sword. I'm all sure have heard the expression that comparison is the thief of joy. All right. So we've all been in the situation where we've thought that the grass was green on the other side, and we end up feeling, you know, we feel like we're lacking somehow. And again, although that might be true, maybe not the best place to put your focus, all right? Because there is always going to be somebody who has more than you. And so getting into the habit of just constantly focusing on that, it can be motivating, but more often than not, in my experience, it can be very demotivating for people. There is a certain type of person who focuses on something they don't have and put their, you know, engine in sixth gear and go after it, or again, maybe even in fourth gear, slower, steady pace, which is good. That's kind of the idea of goal setting. But to compare and just compare with no actual plan, just, oh, they have it so much better. It's like, look, that's not really going to give you energy. So the grass will always be greener in the next garden. Remember that. To think that the other half is living a better life and that you are hard done by. So, you know, I remember hearing a quote one time, if we were to all put our problems in on a table, we'd take our own back. You know, it's like everyone's got stuff going on. You think that all that money and all that power and all that influence comes without it's a burden. You know, I think you'd be a little bit naive to think that. So everybody, again, Karen always could have a better career than you. You're fitter than her. She wants your fitness, you want her career, whatever it is. You know, don't compare. Don't compare too much. So we can use to motivate or deflate ourselves. We are responsible for how we interpret the information, so guard the door to your mind. You have to be big boys and girls, and you can't get offended, and you can't get upset. You have to be a little bit more resilient than that. You know, at every turn of the corner, dealing with everything, it's like to get offended at absolutely anything, even, you know, getting offended in general, it's like, it's probably not the best way to go. It's like, all those things can be offensive. It's like, that doesn't mean you need to get offended. You can disagree. I was like, but I think that, you know, getting offended, that state is like, that's giving someone else the power. It's letting them influence you just because of, you know, their point of view. It's like, people can have point of views. It doesn't really matter if you don't agree with them. It's like, let them tip on, you know, as long as, again, they're not imposing on your freedoms, tip on, or as long as they're not harming you. People are going to think whatever they want to think. Some people are crazy. All right. We are responsible for how we interpret the information. Very, very important. We guard the door to your mind. So here's how we can use comparison for the power of good. We can use it to set goals. Have an inspiration. Having inspiration is great. Using it for energy. So again, comparison can be used to get you emotional. So emotions are powerful. Like if you see some people, again, getting triggered, you know, possibly maybe they can control their emotion, you know, but chances are if you see somebody who's triggered, they're going to act. Maybe they don't act responsibly, but emotion can be used for energy. And so again, you can't often enough see it, the common breakup and get absolutely shredded after and get in the shape of your life. The emotion is sadness, but they use it for something good. So it can also be a thief. All right, so comparison can be a thief, and so it can make you feel less than, or that you have less than, and that's not a feeling that you need in your life. Life is hard enough. So using your ability to choose what you focus on can help you feel more than, not less than. If you want to be happy, swap expectation for appreciation. And so again, another big quote that says to me, I am full of quotes, guys. All right, lots of things I'm full of, and one of the things that I'm full of is quotes. All right, so swap expectation for appreciation. All right, it's very important that you learn to appreciate things. All right, appreciate. Look at the glass half full. We get to choose whether it's half full or half empty. Both are true. And that's important. It's important to remember that both are true. It is half empty, but it is also half full. You do not have to look at the glass half empty. You can look at it half full. Some people are born with the innate predisposition to see it half empty. I will give you that. I mean, some people, just the way they look at the world ever since they were a kid, they did an experiment sometimes, with kids where they'll leave a child in a room. Obviously, I'm sure there's security and all this kind of stuff. Parents are nearby, but a child in a room with a box, and you can basically tell an awful lot from an early age whether or not the child is introverted or extroverted. An introverted child will go over to or will avoid the box, or maybe it's not introvert, extrovert, but again, it's personality types. Essentially, one child would examine the box and the other child will kind of shy away. And so that's not a moral, it's not any kind of representation of, whether the child is good or bad, smart or dumb, this kind of stuff. It's literally just the way they're wired. Some kids are a little bit more apprehensive. Some kids are just a little bit all go. And so it's not good or bad, but we can learn both ways. You don't have to be stuck one way. As Jim Rohn would say, you're not a tree, you have the ability to move, all right? The geese have to go south every winter. It's like, you're not a goose, or maybe you are. Maybe you're a silly goose. It all comes down to your choices. You are the boss, free will and all that. The whole thing about the Bible, Jesus coming down, telling you that the divine essence lives in your soul. You are an amazing thing. Jim Rohn, again, love Jim Rohn. Anybody that hasn't heard of Jim Rohn, give him a listen. He is amazing. So Jim Rohn, one of the things he said is, wouldn't it be amazing for you to reach down deep and pull out one of those remarkable human gifts? And I remember thinking that is an impactful statement. For you to reach down deep and pull out one of those remarkable human gifts. We all have those gifts inside us. You've seen some of them in practice. You've probably seen some people that you admire actually pull a gift out of their bag and do something amazing with it. And again, it would be amazing if you could do that. And there's no reason that you can't. You choose the language and how to interpret information, both unconsciously and consciously. Now, consciously, that's obviously conscious decision. Unconsciously will take a lot longer. So we have to start trying to program ourselves. Program ourselves unconsciously takes a lot of conscious effort. Again, it's all about kind of starting to do that deep work on yourself. And that's kind of where I think an awful lot of your unconscious behavior comes from traumas and just unrealized parts of yourself. And so we all have that. Nobody's perfect. But again, the more that you start to highlight and understand who you are, the more you can begin to exhibit some kind of control over it. And that's going to be very useful for you on your health and fitness journey, because there's going to come an awful lot of decisions that have to be made, and you want to make sure that you are capable of making good decisions. So try and put a positive spin on anything and everything you come into contact with. This will prime you to look for the positive and help you see positive outcomes. It can help you the way that you see the world. All right, so fumbled and mumbled through that one, but we'll go again. Try to put a positive spin on anything and everything that you come in contact with. This will prime you to look for the positive outcomes, and you can change the way you see the world. All right, so we really can. It will take time. Big lie that I told myself initially when I first started doing early morning classes was that I love being early and I love having the day to myself. I knew kind of objectively that that was true. And even sometimes now I still kind of struggle with it. But like in the moment, it was very, very hard to convince myself to get out of bed and that this was a good decision that I was making. But as I said, as we began to repeat the lie became true. And I'm not sure. That's probably a dangerous weapon that you could use for, again, good or evil. You are the boss after all. Your circle of influence. You can control some things and you can't control other things. That's just the way it goes. how you react to someone stepping on your foot in the cinema. So again, that's inside. You can control how you react. Outside, the fact that they're a clumsy person and they stepped on your foot in the first place, that's out of your control. Now, obviously, maybe, again, inside, possibly you could have seen a big klutz stumbling and mumbling their way towards you in the cinema, you know, with their arms full, not looking where they're going. And so, again, maybe step your foot out of the way. But, again, this is an internal decision. There's only so much things you have control over, all right? So, again, you starting, again, having a lash out at him, it's much easier for you to look after yourself in that situation than it is to try and sort them out. Because, again, if you're trying to stop and sort of every idiot that you meet, you will have a very stressful and short-lived life, I imagine. You'll probably have a heart attack trying to do it. Inside, your diet, your workout intensity, these are things you have control over. And then outside, your genetics, someone else's time, someone else's commitments or lack thereof, other levels, what do we have? Body fat percentage, muscle tone, and 5K time. You know, my typos for anybody watching, body fat percentage, other levels of body fat percentage, muscle tone, 5K time, etc. So again, there's some things you can't control. Don't get frustrated. So we're back to our comparison thing. So you don't want to start focusing on other people's 5K times as your marker for success. Because again, they might be amazing and you're going to end up disappointed. Even though you're pretty freaking fantastic, you're just comparing yourself to an absolute hero of a person because they exist. I'm a great boxer. I will have no doubt in saying that. I know right well, I've done the training, I've put in the hours, but there's people way better, mountains and mountains and mountains better. And I know because I've fought some of them and I've seen some of them. And again, there's pros who do it professionally, log much more hours and are much more talented and genetically gifted than I am. So if I was to compare myself only to them and use that as my only marker for success, I would feel awful about myself and my accomplishments in the respective sport of boxing. And so again, I don't do that. I use my own merit and where I came from and how I've grown. And again, obviously gauging, you know, my own level of others, because again, we're all going to compare some of the time. Again, learn to do it in a healthy way. Healthily, I was going to say. If we all threw our problems in a pile, there we go. I knew it was in my brain somewhere. And we saw everyone else, we'd grab our own back. So remember why you started. It wasn't to beat others. And so when you get into the game, that can be a habit that's very, very easy to adopt. Again, it's just getting competitive. I know anybody's ever done a competitive running race, a road race, you know, 5K, 10K, whatever it is. You notice that you start picking people and start trying to beat them. I think psychologically it just happens. It's just kind of the way we're wired. So look for small wins and positive steps forward. So again, you are winning all the time if you are bothering your bum. All right, there's little wins. And so again, if at the beginning most people are only capable of little wins. I know I was definitely only capable of little fitness wins and little kind of nutrition wins when I started. And, you know, most times again, it's the little wins that really make me move forward, because often enough I can get the big things wrong, especially off season and when there's nothing coming up. It's really about the little things. And so the little things are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And that's why most people get them wrong. Because again, they're easy to not wait. They're easy to go, sure, it's only, sure, it's only, sure, it's only. How many dreams were killed because of sure, it's only? You know, big graveyard. Everyone has it hard in their own way. Social media is not a direct reflection of reality. Although it is entertaining and exciting at times, it is not a great depiction of quote unquote normal. Even your average person on social media puts up their highlight reel. And then again, these genetic, highly committed, highly talented individuals on social media that you see post their highlight reels. Where do you think the normal person is going to fall on their worst day in comparison? You're going to feel like shit. And so learn to not do something so foolish as compare your worst day with somebody else's highlight reel, especially, you know, these people who have the likes that are actually going to drift onto your feed are phenoms. They're the one percenters of the one percenters. You know, it's like they're fucking models. You know what I mean? Like, and not only models, like for the most part, if you're dealing with health and fitness, they're fitness models. Like they are not only extraordinarily good looking, they're in ridiculous shape as well. And some of them, possibly from what I've heard, the majority of them is on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, or some kind of therapeutic or not therapeutic, hormone. My goodness, I can't even English today. They're getting help from hormones. They're getting help from medications. They're getting help from something. You know, there's a boost there that's not whey or creatine. Let's just put it that way. So taking responsibilities for learning what is real and what is fake. Something we are all going to have to learn to do is how to manage social media and what is real and what is fake. This has always been the way of media. So again, this isn't a new thing, but it is prevalent now more than ever because we are closer and media is more involved in our lives in a volume that's never been the case. I mean, like there's more millions and millions and millions of hours of video posted, you know, every second, every minute. There's a crazy amount going up. So again, be very, very, very careful of how much of it you take in. So we again have a little tool to do. So if you want to pause this and wait until you go home with your notebook, if you're out for a walk or whatever the crack is, or just come back to this, maybe do it in your head, get your phone out with your notes, whatever it is. What is your goal for today? And so again, we talk about the small wins. So the wins that happen on a daily basis are what you'd call small. And then we've got bigger wins, which would be what would you like to achieve in a week? And so that's obviously, you know, times 7 of what you could achieve in a day. And then sometimes it compounds. So you can achieve more in a week than you could in 7 single days if you put those days in a row, if that makes sense. And so again, that's the compounding effect. This week, what would you like to achieve? Write it down. Again, big benefit in writing it down. And then this month, what would you like to achieve in the next 4 weeks? Why do people not achieve goals? Because they don't even set them. People don't set goals. That's why they don't achieve them. Obviously, there's other reasons as well, but a very common one is that they just don't set them. And so again, they don't set them like this. They might set the month goal, they might set the day goal, they might set the week goal, but they don't set them all together. So they don't have a chart. They don't have a progression ladder. So it's like, what do I need to achieve? What do I want to achieve this month? And then what would that look like on a week-to-week basis? And then what would that look like on a day-to-day basis? Or you go the other way. My God, I had a pretty good day today. If I did what I did for the next week, and then for the next month, where would I be? And so that's how we want to set goals, guys. And so remember to use a SMART acronym. It helps, but it's not the be all or end all, because I find it a little bit confusing sometimes. But firstly, again, not confusing at all. Be super specific. Specific. All right? Super specific. Get specific with your goal. It has to be, I want to lose 1 kilo. You need to be able to define success and define failure specifically. All right? Can't get much more specific than that. Measurable. Make sure it's measurable. Again, that's obvious. And then achievable. So it has to be achievable. Obviously, this is where it gets confusing. What is achievable? What's not achievable? It depends on what you're going to sacrifice. So again, maybe contact your coach if you're not 100% sure. But I mean, like thereabouts. You don't have to hit the nail on the head. You just don't say something ridiculous like I want to be in the Olympics next week. Like, have a bit of sense. And then we got a specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. So that's the kind of same thing. That's why it confused me. Achievable, realistic. They're the same thing. Lastly, time bound. So bound it in time. You have a week, you have a month, you have a year, you have 2 years, you have 5 years, you have 10 years. And you can set a goal for each one of those. Again, the day, the week, the month, the year, 6 months, whatever it needs to be. But again, the big thing is that you actually sit down and set the goal. Guys, I really appreciate everybody listening to the call. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you need to ask me any questions, you can always comment under the video. I suppose if this is on YouTube, and I'll hopefully get back to it. Otherwise, you can find me on social media at FF Movement Coach, and you can DM me there. Otherwise, if you're a member, you can catch me on the members group or on my Fight and Fit app PM if I am your coach. All right, guys. So we will leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Wherever you've seen us, guys, we are more than happy to have you, and more than happy that you joined. And fingers crossed you got something out of the call. And I will see you in the next video. As always, guys, peace.